Very nice. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. A wonderful Sunday morning to be together. I'm Sarah Benson. This is my husband, Doug, and we're going to start you with a couple of songs. I invite you to stand if that's comfortable. Yeah, let's sing.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. Are you guys in the right place this morning?
Yes.
I guess I am too. We are a community in loving partnership for the good of all, and that's our vision, that the world be work in loving partnership for the good of all. So we welcome many of you who are visiting for the first time. If you were, I'd tell you you could pick something up on the table. You could fill out the card. You could get a gift in the bookstore. And I finally read the newsletter every week. I used to tell Bonnie, I never get it. I can never see it. You guys must not like my email address. But it's an important announcement, so we encourage you to look for it and take action for whatever suits your fancy. And before we get into further announcements, we have a special announcement today. If you will all please stand. Bonnie, come up here. We're going to sing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bonnie. Happy birthday to you.
And I know you could tell how heartfelt that was.
Definitely.
So we have a number of announcements because, as you know, this is the center of what's happening now, so we always have things going on. First off, there was a fantastic treasure sale yesterday. It was so well handled that these guys were too tired to let us know how much was brought in. So they promise that they'll let us know next week. For me, when I went through classwork, I learned that it was good to release stuff that you no longer use to create space for other stuff to come in. And I usually start right after each one, and I still don't get rid of as much as I would like to. So, but I appreciate always doing this. Taylor Edmondson's celebration of life is Saturday, May 3rd, on her birthday, and it's here at 2 p.m. Mindfulness in Practice Origami Paper Folding, Thursday, the 8th, from 1:30 to 3, facilitated by Meg. Now, we really do need you to make a commitment today, if you're going to attend, because she needs to know how much supplies to bring. So please think about it during the service. It's a good meditative practice, and you might find a hidden talent that you didn't know you had. So, please take a look at the sign-up sheet out in the hall. And another important event is the annual meeting on May 8th. Oh, that was the wrong one. 18th, after the service. And we need a quorum. So we want to encourage you all to come. And to help that, there's going to be a potluck. So that's a pretty good incentive. That's where we learn what's been going on with the center, how we're doing, what plans we have for moving forward. So I think we'll see you there. And there's a event survey if you've not done it already. They're in the basket as you exit the sanctuary. We'd like your input, so please do that. And I didn't tell you who I was. I didn't see anybody back there wiggling in their chairs going, oh my gosh, who is this person? I'm Tina Bailey, a practitioner here, and now it's time to let you know about our prayer group. Because as most of you know, we believe in the power of prayer. Awesome. We call it spiritual mind treatment in religious science, or affirmative prayer. We have prayer requests in the backs of the chairs that if during the service something comes up for you or there's some situation in your life that you would like to submit to the prayer group, it's all the New Thought Centers, meet once a week, and pray on the requests that come in from all four groups. And it's in confidence. So I want you to feel safe about that. There's also a prayer button on the website. You can issue your prayer request there. And you know what? We really like feedback. So there's a demonstration card in the back of the chairs that we would appreciate when you see show up in your life what it is you were working on or didn't even know you were working on. And we will be glad to see that as well. And at the end of service, those of us that are wearing the practitioner stoles are available for a quickie treatment. If something's going on in your life or something comes up during the talk and you want to snag one of us and pull us aside, we'll be glad to give you a spiritual mind treatment to help us. And of course, with the treatments and with the prayer requests, we like to hear the gratitude. So please, even if you think it's minor, once again, I encourage you to fill out the gratitude card. Now it's time for song, silence, and prayer.
Take a breath, close your eyes, go within deep inside. The gift is always there to find. Open up, say a prayer, feel the peace that's waiting there, and the Spirit is never far behind. Take a breath, close your eyes, go within deep inside. The gift is always there to find. Open up, say a prayer, feel the peace that's waiting there, and the Spirit is never far behind. Take a breath, close your eyes, go inside. Take a breath, close your eyes, go inside. Take a breath, close your eyes, go inside.
We come together this morning to acknowledge our oneness, to acknowledge that we're all connected in this joyful and unusual and strange and sometimes confusing thing we call life. We know that this is a place of healing, a place where we come together and look each other in the eyes and see that they are the beloved. And I honor each of you for being here, knowing that this morning and this entire day unfolds in marvelous, unexpected, exciting, and sometimes strange ways. And what we know is that all is well in the kingdom. And it is so.
Reading?
No, I don't want to do it.
Okay, or not.
No, I don't. I don't know why I'm a little nervous today. I know. It's because you're sitting there right there and it's your birthday. Yeah, would you? It's from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind textbook. I have an inner friend who walks and talks with me daily. He is not afar off, but is within me, a constant companion. I shall never become lonely, for my friend is always near. I have but to speak, and he answers. Before ever my lips spoke, he told me of his love. Oh, my dear friend and kind friend, how dear you are to me in thy presence. The spirit within me is my friend, and so it is.
Okay, so Doug Adams is going to do the special music today, so give him a warm welcome. Yay, Doug!
The egg, the rabbit, the tortoise, the hare. A leaf that was green is green on a branch that was bare. Soon all of the branches on all of the trees will be covered with green, and birds' nest and bees that hum and birds that trill returned on their journey from the long winter's chill. Yes, they trill and they tweet and they chirp and they squawk and they flutter for cover at the sight of a hawk. Easter, Passover, the phoenix, Aphrodite, traditions and religions, some forgotten, some still mighty. We all harmonize with the earth and her spinning long before the time known as in the beginning. The stone is rolled away. There's an angel by the cave. A flower sprouts from a cactus and out of a grave. And the lads still sing strong for their maidens fair, the glory of the girl with the flower in her hair. And Aries wheels round and declares, I am number one in this procession. All return to life again. And the clouds play leapfrog, and the frogs pray for rain. And everyone knows that it's springtime again. And the clouds play leapfrog, and the frogs sing for rain. And everyone knows that it's springtime again. I did. That's it. Yes.
Okay, everybody, obviously I need your energy up here. Smile. Again, my name is Tina Bailey. Doug and I will be doing the talk this morning. I'm going to start off. All you need to know about our biography is that we've been at the center since 89, and we are our own company and we work a lot. And we play when we can. And we're glad to be here this morning. So good morning. We like the topic for this month of fertilizing your future. I know it sounds like gardening, doesn't it? So please don't try to go to sleep right away. But what we've heard this month and what we are to speak about is about spiritual gardening. How we prepare the soil of our consciousness, what seeds we plant, how we nourish those seeds, and how we trust the process of growth as we co-create with the universe. When I heard Yvette talk earlier this month, that the center, she could see the center as being her spiritual sandbox, our spiritual sandbox, as the place where we come together in love and acceptance and play to visualize what we can create. I was taken aback to our beginnings. What we learned when we started on this journey was that we were going to learn spiritual tools to put in our spiritual toolbox. So I propose that we're going to be learning tools to do our spiritual gardening with, and we can have a good time doing that. We will share some of the tools we've gathered over the years. We heard them on Sunday from class members, in our readings, and in workshops. This image we carried with us through classwork, each of which provided us another tool to grow and nurture our life together. And frankly, at the beginning, it helped create our life together. Ernest Holmes, as the founder of religious science, once said, "Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it." Every garden begins with soil. The quality of the soil determines how well anything will grow. Spiritually, our soil is our consciousness, our mindset, our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotional state, our experiences. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill says, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." That statement is both empowering and a little bit daunting, because it reminds us that we are the gardeners of our own destiny. If our thoughts are dominated by lack or fear or resentment or doubt, guess what grows? Weeds. Weeds you may not have invited in consciously. Wayne Dyer said it like this: change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. And we've all heard that famous Ernest Holmes quote, and you'll be hearing it a lot in this talk. Change your thinking, change your life. When we take responsibility for our mindset, we begin to consciously prepare the soil. This doesn't mean we don't acknowledge our past or our pain. It means we till the soil. We break it up. We air it out. We make it receptive to something new. Those of you who have heard us speak before know how important classwork and prayer and the words of the authors we mentioned have been in our lives. And moving towards the next phase of our lives, and indeed working on this talk, have allowed us to look back at our life as a couple and to see how the seeds we've planted over the years have grown and blossomed and maybe wilted, some of them, and impacted our lives. I had had no spiritual community since leaving home for college, except during Christmas and Easter when I would return to a Lutheran church here because I loved the atmosphere and I loved the music. And I remembered all of that from my childhood in the Lutheran church. I was not looking for a relationship when Doug and I met. I was happy. And we had vastly different temperaments. I was somewhat closed and cautious, you might say, set in my ways, and certainly not looking for another relationship or, heaven forbid, a spiritual community. Doug was opposite of me. He was open and receptive and inclusive and loving and very patient. Traits I came to realize came from his embracing of religious science principles. Early on, shortly after we met, we figured out that, we were kind of two different people. So we saw a relationship workshop that was put on here in Cruces. It wasn't religious science, but it sounded like something that would help us. Sponsored by another local church. It provided exercises that closely actually mirrored some of the religious science tenets. I later learned of religious science and recognized that. Religious science, a religion I knew nothing about, and I might add, was not exactly aligned with my Lutheran background. Participating fully in the couple exercises greased the wheels, so to speak, for a positive and lasting relationship and introduced me to religious science. And change your thinking, change your life, because of Doug's already knowing about it. Indeed, changing the way you look at things and the things you look at change. Have any of you experienced that? Doug and I fully participated in the religious science classwork offered by this center. Each class made us hungry for the next one. The classwork provided tools for growth and a safe environment in which to grow and learn about ourselves, our intentions, and to shape our future, and indeed to look at some of the parts of our personalities we weren't exactly excited about and give ourselves permission to really look at that and make changes. We took advantage of every opportunity for service, both here and in the community. We will be the first to admit that this center and its ministers and members and the work we did as a couple set the stage for these last 40 loving, interesting, and yes, of course, sometimes challenging years of marriage. So our talk today will recall some of the seeds we planted and fertilized for ourselves, as well as for others. We know that once the soil is ready, we begin to plant seeds. These seeds are our intentions, our dreams, our goals, and our vision. I needed to look to the future, set my intentions, see my future results, but stay grounded in the moment, in the present. Ernest Holmes reminds us, there is a powerful good in the universe, and you can use it. Think about that. Not only is there a power, we have access to it, but we must tell it what we want, do the work, and act as if. I'll also admit that I'm pretty stubborn, so it took me quite a while to learn this. The universe responds to clear intentions. To plant a seed, we must know what it is we desire. Deepak Chopra says, intentions compressed into words enfold magical power. Isn't that a wonderful saying? That's why affirmations, prayers, and declarations matter. They're not just words, they're seeds of consciousness. And every time we speak them, especially with feeling, we press them deeper into the soul of the subconscious mind. They're tools in our toolbox, which we can use in our spiritual sandbox here. Students in the wonderful religious science classes taught here learn their importance. I'd like to share one example in the Roots class, which we loved teaching. It's a lot of work, but you do a lot of good work inside too. At the beginning of the class, participants are asked to plant a seed of their intention for the class, what they want to show up in their lives. Members then in the class join in prayer for each desire expressed and offer support, love, and encouragement. The end of the class provided us an opportunity to share their demonstrations. The most profound, and we've stated it here before, was shared by Nancy Ritchie. And we have her permission to share it because it is so powerful. It was emotionally moving, terrific. Her husband Sam had been a minister for an Episcopal church before moving to Las Cruces. But the last few years that he ministered up there, he was using Science of Mind principles, and indeed they took the Science of Mind magazine. So they were really interested in that. So when they moved here to start their new business, Sam and Nancy attended the center. In fact, it was wonderful timing because during those first few years, when we were between ministers, Sam came in as our interim minister. And it just fed his soul so much that he was moved to start another church in Las Cruces, Wellspring New Thought Center, teaching religious science principles. And in the Roots class, Nancy planted a seed for a return to having more music in her life. She found out that she was really missing it. Each week, she and her prayer partner prayed together for their manifestations and continued the prayer work between classes. On the last day of the class, students were encouraged, if they wanted to share their demonstrations. And she gave us permission to share hers, and we've shared it here before. By the time the class ended, she had planted the seed to have more students, more music students, and she did. She had several at the time and a list of others that were to come in. And she led the choir here for a period of time, and she participated in our Christmas service, and they did community concerts, and the community group that she led was invited overseas several times to do the concerts. I seem to remember that she almost had tears in her eyes. She was so joyful. And she had taken the attendance of the class to heart, and it manifested in her life. And Spirit wants me to share another one that's not spiritual. I've been wanting to do this, and Spirit said, okay, today's the day. Because not only spiritual growth happens, but in one of the classes, I don't remember which one, there was a conversation going. I think there was some concern among some of the members that there was a disagreement between the spouses. And it was over how to place toilet paper on the holder. Their relationship was negatively impacted by that. So they agreed to come up with a silly solution. Whoever changed the paper got to put it the way they wanted it. So that encouraged you to not let the roll stay empty. So, on that note, it's my pleasure to introduce Doug. Can you top that?
I know better than to try. See what a lucky guy I am? Having a practitioner like that is to remind me of truth, whether I want to hear it or not. We always are planting something through our thoughts, feelings. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a very quiet voice. We are always planting something through our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. The question is, what are we fertilizing? Fear or faith? Limitation or possibilities? It's fun to look at the many learning experiences, some good and some not so good at the time. But they're all powerful growth opportunities for us. I came into religious science after hearing Ram Dass at the Orange County Convention Center, filled with 5,000 people inside and 2,000 outside without tickets who were unable to get in. With some difficulty, I was able to find that the event was organized by Huntington Beach Religious Science Church, a church in 1979 of 250 enlightened souls, ministered by Reverend Peggy Bassett. Through an excellent program of workshops, classwork, leading to a very active practitioner program, and outside speakers, Huntington Beach experienced extraordinary growth. Over 6 years, we watched it grow to over 4,000 people fueled by their feelings, belief, and hard work. Let us be reminded of Ernest Holmes. God, I'm falling apart. Let us be reminded of Ernest Holmes' outstanding quote, "Change your thinking, change your life." Sound familiar? This planted the seed for me and began my journey with Ernest Holmes. I took a workshop on abundance at Huntington Beach in the early 1980s. I will never forget Peggy's opening comments that Huntington Beach does not need your money. Can you imagine that? It needs you to be successful in life. When you truly recognize how powerful you are, and when aligned with let me start that over again. She went on to say that when you truly recognize how powerful you are, and when aligned with the divine. At one point in the program, she suggests we look at our relationship with money, not our checkbook. At the time, I lived on a tight financial edge, so on a Sunday, I started using cash instead of a check. It was definitely painful. I finally decided to use $100 bills, which at the time was definitely painfully outside my comfort zone. But rather than pain, I enjoyed the thought of the impression the $100 bills would have on those that saw them as they passed by in the plate. Now, this is not part of my talk, but if I can get my wallet down. One of the things that I did following that is I always carried a $100 bill. The reason was that not only checkbooks, but credit cards didn't give me the feeling of money. So what I did do was I always carried a $100 bill so that I never felt that I couldn't buy something. I could choose not to buy it, but I never had that feeling that I was being deprived. At one point in the program, she suggested we look at our relationship. Oh, I'm sorry. Later, Peggy Bassett challenged us to see in our future our $100, our 10% tithe to the points. Later, Peggy Bassett challenged us to see in our future our 10% tithe growing to the point where it equaled our current total income. Tina and I have been tithing for over 40 years. We were slow pokes. It took us 10 years to meet her challenge the first time. Wayne Dyer reminds us that the art of tithing opens the floodgates of abundance. We were given with an open, when given with an open heart, we create a space for more blessings to flow into our lives. Charles Stanley reminds us, adversity is not simply a tool, it's God's most effective tool for the advancement of our spiritual lives. We had a young man who, a fun business story underscores that. We had a young man who mistakenly felt that we had damaged his government career. He made some inaccurate reports which resulted in a major contract of ours being terminated. Yeah, we naturally appealed the termination. Recognizing the power of the negative thoughts I had towards him and absolutely knowing it would ultimately hurt our company, our employees, and our customers, I made it a point of my daily spiritual practice not only to do affirmative prayer, but I attached a picture of him on my bulletin board to remind me daily that he was an expression of the divine. The result was, at the trial, he was an early witness, and a very positive witness. And several hours later, the judge ruled in our favor. Deepak Chopra teaches us that in the process of letting go, you will lose many things from your past, but you will find yourself. In other words, growth requires surrender. We don't control the timing, but we trust the process. Growth takes time. It takes nurturing, and that's where spiritual practice comes in. Faith is fertilizer, so is enthusiasm, gratitude, imagination, and love. These qualities energize our visions. When Tina and I started to consider retirement, we had a company we were very comfortable with, but also had employees and customers to consider. So we went to a workshop and discovered we needed to be 5 times larger if we wanted to exit the way we desired. As Napoleon Hill reminds us, do not wait. The time is never just right. Start where you stand. So we hired a couple of highly experienced people, looked at our market with imagination, recognized some opportunities, and took action. After several years, we find ourselves in the first month of this year having shipped what it took us a year in the past to ship. We also found in the first week of this month, we had booked in dollars what it took us a year to book in the past. Ernest Holmes reminds us that within us is a power that is greater than anything else ever contacted in the outside, a power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe and at peace. Holmes also said treatment is the time, space, and effort we spend in changing our consciousness so that our lives can change. Eventually, harvests come, but it doesn't come from wishing. It comes from alignment. When your inner garden reflects what you truly want to grow, you are living in alignment, and it takes action that you can look forward to harvest the future you want. As Holmes wrote, the law of life is the law of belief. What we see about ourselves and about life becomes true for us. We are leaving here today. As we leave here today, I invite you to ask yourself, what thoughts am I planting? What emotions am I watering? And what beliefs am I fertilizing? and absolutely recognize if you truly want to develop the spiritual practice, you are in the right place to collect the tools for your spiritual sandbox. Classwork and workshops, being surrounded by people who recognize you as a conduit through which the divine expresses. Being surrounded by people who recognize you as a conduit through which the divine expresses. Prayer work, visioning. I encourage you to leave here today and fertilize your future with the kind of spiritual nutrients that align you with your highest good. And please join me in prayer. In this moment, we recognize the magnificence of the divine, which expresses through all that surrounds us. Let us know that truly we are a conduit through which the divine expresses. Know also that we plant the seeds of our experience of life with our thoughts, beliefs, and motion, which drive our action and create our experiences. Let us see the reality of each day as a gift, which we have the power to celebrate or change. I give thanks for this day, for the opportunity each of us have to truly make a difference in our community and the lives around us. And so it is. Namaste. And I think we have some music coming. We are surrounded by Dougs today.
It's the Grateful Dougs. Well, I have a song. It's brand new. Today is the world premiere of this song. And Ken, he's got the words already. You think we can flash those up if you want to sing along on the choruses? And if not, you'll catch on quick. The verses are kind of tongue twisters, but I'm hoping I'll get through them because it's new. There it is. The grace and the glory and the power. The grace and the glory and the power. The grace and the glory and the power and the grace and the glory and the power of love. When I was feeling downhearted and my starter just couldn't get started, sailing waters that had never been charted, I found the glory and the power of love. It was the grace and the glory and the power. The grace and the glory and the power. The grace and the glory and the power and the grace and the glory and the power of love. I went down to the river to get grateful, and I dropped every thought that was hateful. I found 1,000 blessings by the grateful, full of glory and the power of love. It was the grace and the glory and the power. It was the grace and the glory and the power. The grace and the glory and the power and the grace and the glory and the power of love. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Oh, with the grace and the power of love. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Oh, with the glory and the power of love. And here's a new part. You can make it, you can make it, you can make it. With the glory and the power of love. You can make it, you can make it, you can make it. Oh, with the glory and the power of love. I was looking high and low for satisfaction. I even signed up with a warring faction. Even then, I couldn't get a bit of traction without the glory and the power of love. It was the grace and the glory and the power, the grace and the glory and the power, the grace and the glory and the power, and the grace and the glory and the power of love. One more time. It was the grace and the glory and the power. It was the grace and the glory and the power. It was the grace and the glory and the power, and the grace and the glory and the power of love. It's a keeper. I guess it's a keeper.
You're right. It's a keeper. Is that right? Yes. Now is the time when we consider our giving back to the center. 10% of everything that comes in to the center will go to Casa de Peregrinos, mission to alleviate hunger in Doña County, one person at a time, by compassionately serving those in need through the efforts of our partners, donors, staff, and volunteers. Their motto is food for today, hope for tomorrow. Please join us as we affirm our blessings that are on the screen.
Doing love
Through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me. And so it is.
I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I am so grateful for me that I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. So it is.
Oh, okay. We're gonna close with this little light of mine because Doug Adams likes to do this song. He's gonna think we always do it, but we actually only do it when he's here. I invite you to stand if you'd like, and yeah, let's close it out with this one.
Thank you all for being here. I see the lights from each one of you. Take it out into the community and all your interactions. And I know that you'll receive blessings in return. And the people you interact with are blessed by your presence. Have a great week.
I realize that.